If you're using low-quality vinyl windows, there's something you can do to help save time and money over the long run. And that something is using Andersen 100 Series products instead of vinyl. 100 Series products are available at a similar price to vinyl, but made with Fibrex material that's twice as strong and holds up in high heat, even in dark colors. And unlike some other vinyl alternatives, 100 Series products have a smooth and consistent finish. That's why you can trust Andersen 100 Series products to be the smart alternative to vinyl. Learn more at andersenwindows.com/pros. This comes from Austin. He writes, Greetings, Fine Homebuilding Podcast. I'm in the early planning stages of building a 12 by 20 outbuilding for my property that will serve as a storage and workspace. I'm a longtime listener of the podcast and a recent subscriber to Fine Homebuilding Magazine. Well, thank you for that, Austin. I keep hearing about ZIP sheathing on the podcast and see it featured in the magazine as well as many other home building websites, etc. I imagine Huber must have a very healthy marketing budget. Are they sponsoring this show, Gary?
Nope.
I was curious how the price compared to traditional sheathing and house wrap. I tried to find the product in my local lumberyard, home stores, etc., but none of them seemed to carry it. Online, I found a few of the big box stores who carried it, but it was either out of stock or not available in my area unless I special ordered it and paid more for shipping. Is there a reason for this? I live on the east coast of Canada. I'm curious if the climate here is not suitable for it. Can you think of another reason why it would not be particularly well suited for our area or climate? Or is it simply a matter of preference where contractors here don't use it so much that it's not stocked? Thanks, Austin. So I emailed Austin for some clarification. He's in a little town called Shediac in New Brunswick, Canada. Briefly, let's talk about the pros and cons of sheathing panels with an integral WRB. Ian, what do you like about products like ZIP System that combine WRB with some kind of WRB coating on the exterior?
Products like that are labor saving, and that's their big draw when it comes to contractors trying to build a lot of remodels, build a lot of additions, build a lot of new homes. You can sheath it, it has the WRB on it, you tape it, and you are weather tight, and you can move on to the next thing, as opposed to if you're doing standard OSB and then you're going to do Tyvek or Henry Blueskin or some other product over it, you would have to sheathe the whole house, and then you would have to go back around again and detail your WRB. Some people have methods for doing that WRB as you go, but I think it's still pretty challenging to do, whereas the ZIP sheathing and products like that, you move around the house once. My crew loves using it for roof sheathing because you put it down, you tape the seams, and you
sleep at night.
And you sleep at night, and you don't get a call from a homeowner who's like, hey, this new dormer you just put on my third-story attic is raining in my house. What's going on? It's 9:00. Come fix it. You don't get that with ZIP. And it's easy to do. It's easy to train somebody on. It's easy to get right. And then there's all the air sealing and the other vapor control, air control benefits that come with that product.
What do you like about it, Randy?
Ian covered the whole thing. That's exactly what I would have said. Just the speed, the labor savings, the simplicity of the system. It's what it's made for.
I'm going to add that it seems like a pretty reliable way to get an airtight building without doing too much different than what you're doing normally. Detailing a WRB similarly as an air barrier is very difficult, and this is not.
Randy, also, what do you think about the way the product puts all those control layers at the outside of the building?
So that was going to be my one downside, Ian, is you're relying on tape, and you could have a fish mouth or some manner that would allow water entry, whereas if things are shingle lapped, gravity is not going to fail. That would be my one downside, but boy, it seems to be pretty reliable in my observation. What do you think, Randy? What are downsides for you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you're who's doing the taping, a lot of times it's the young young guy on the crew or the inexperienced guy that's doing that. And you really want to take your time and make sure that you're getting all those details right.
You got to roll it too. Oh,
You,
why do people forget that? And that doesn't
yeah,
mean like rubbing it with your hand. It means rolling it
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's nice that Huber supplies you with all they've got a line of tools for doing that. They have a taping dispensing gun. I've got one that it works okay. I've got, you got to have the rollers. I get the one with the little Z's put into it so that somebody can come back and verify that is. The other thing that I like about the Huber product is their tapes. They have a system of tapes for different applications. You can have the standard seam tape, which is 3 3/4 inch wide, I think. They make a split back seam tape or a tear off seam tapes. So you have the backing, it has a covering on it. They make wide seam tapes, and then they make the stretch tape for the windowsills or other penetrations that are coming through, so that you can detail a round pipe that comes through. You can tape that to make it right. The systems I think are what's really helping the product move along.
The stretch tape is a fantastic product.
It's impressive.
I love to make the cash register noise as I roll the stretch tape out.
Cha-ching.
Yep.
It's not a cheap product.
No.
Yes, it's quite expensive.
But it's
none of
worth
them
it.
are cheap. Yeah.
No. Actually, the seam tape, for a quality seam tape, it's not bad priced.
Correct. Yes.
It's half of what some of the other really high end stuff that's coming out of Europe is.
And to my understanding of it, that acrylic adhesive is pretty much universal across all the different types of tapes.
Mm-hmm. And they do have a vapor open tape or a vapor permeable tape as well,
right.
Which is popular with the European products and kind of why they're so expensive.
So what do we tell Austin about where to find this? I would say you're asking the wrong people. Call Huber and find a distributor, right?
So I think it's supply and demand. I'm going to take a crack at assuming that there's not a lot of demand for ZIP sheathing out in
Shediac,
New Brunswick, Canada. And that's why they're not going to send it there. And that's also why, maybe your local building center, sure, they can get it. They have access to a distributor for it, but, they're not going to order a flatbed truckload of something that most builders are going to go in and go, $50 a sheet. Give me OSB.
Yep.
So having had a little experience working in a pro yard, you can order units of, products. I'm guessing your yard could, order this. Are you going to pay more? Sure. Is it going to be that much more? It depends, maybe 10, 20%.
I did look up the pricing on it. I can get it locally through a Lowe's home center here in northern Minnesota. It's about $32 a sheet for 7/16 sheet. Yep. OSB is $14 a sheet at the same location. So it's, it is substantially more. But again, you've got that water resistant barrier that's already on there. And like Ian said, it's one trip around the house instead of two.
I think, and you guys have probably heard me say this, but builders want stuff to work. This is one of those products that works, and you don't have to worry about it. And there is a lot of value in that, I would say. But
one thing that I'll add to it, and I got this from Ben Bogey when I was concerned about using ZIP on my house, which my whole house is ZIP, roof and walls. And his point was, you really don't have to worry about reverse laps and nail holes in the ZIP if you're doing a rain screen. If you're doing a fully ventilated rain screen over ZIP, that makes a much more resilient install for it. And any of those kind of weird flashing pieces, you don't have to worry about them, because that ventilated rain screen is going to keep you from having moisture issues from a reverse lap or a overdriven fastener.
I would also tell Austin, if you can't get ZIP or it's prohibitively expensive, you can do the same thing with other panel products, taping the seams. And some OSBs we've learned are more air permeable than others. And there's an article on GBA that talks about that a little bit. So, if it's between the absolute cheapest product and a better one, you might consider the better one if your goals are air tightness. But plywood is another option, easier to tape. The challenge is getting, as I suggest here, tapes to stick to the unfinished surface of OSB. And plywood, you might need a primer, you might need a special tape. It's harder, right?
Your primer makes me think of another idea. He could make his own zip by getting the sheathing and then using like a roll-on fluid applied membrane.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue paint would do just enough, I hope folks will write in with their stories of homemade coated sheathing, and then you're going to find out that it's cheaper to buy the stuff that's already made.
And come on,
and
Huber,
easier.
sponsorship opportunities abound here on the Fine Homebuilding Podcast. Come on, pick up the phone.